Hello everyone, this is Ronnie from YouTube. We're talking about raw food stuff, the raw vegan lifestyle. And today we're going to be talking about patterns that just repeat over and over again. You see, people think that everyone is so unique and different. And we are in many ways, but I really see the similarities in people and far more than the differences. And when it comes to diet, everyone likes to think that we all have a unique individual diet that is different to all of us, and it makes sense to think that. It sounds logical to think that we're all different height, different weight, different level of activity, different genetics, and so on. So it kind of makes sense that you would think that everyone maybe needs to have something slightly different. But then we compare ourselves to every other living creature on the planet Earth, and we realize that all of the animals of the same species are basically eating the same diet all of the time. So when farmers have cows, they feed them all the exact same thing. When they have horses, they feed them the exact same thing. Dogs get fed the exact same thing. And human beings are no different. We are far more similar and far more capable of eating the same diet and getting the same result as everyone else than we realise. Now, a lot of people would say, well, this can't be right because I eat similar to someone, but they put on a lot of weight and I don't. But that's not really telling the whole story. And the one thing that we know for sure is that people have bad memories of what they eat. They forget, they maybe even make up, they change things to make themselves look better. So it might seem like two people eat the same or one person eats less than another, but in reality it could be a lot different. So what I'm really talking about here is the patterns that I see as someone who's been in the raw vegan movement for since 2011, and just learning about it all the time, watching people, meeting people, and gradually seeing different patterns repeat again and again and again. So when it comes to people going raw and going back to cooked food and not maintaining raw, to me it's always the same thing. It's really similar. And I had a situation with a friend one time, and actually this has happened a number of times, where someone will be going raw for a while and then they might say, well, I want to eat some cooked food maybe one time. I don't want to be so strict. So I'll just have cooked food whenever I feel like it, and I'll just have it one time and go back to raw and see how I feel and all that. And my reaction to that was, well, if you have this craving to eat cooked food, then if you go and eat it, those cravings will actually get stronger, not less. You'll be thinking about it more, and it's very likely that you will eat it day after day after day. And people don't like hearing that, because we all like to think that we know ourselves, we know best, we are in control. But one thing I've learned about diet is we're not in control. And that's something you have to humble yourself down. When it comes to improving your diet, you have to humble yourself down. You're not in control. It's kind of like the Alcoholics Anonymous, They almost pray to a higher power because it's not about your decision. It's not about that. So, for example, imagine your friend phones you up and out of the blue says, we're going to go and do this. Well, that may be great for him, but you're maybe not ready for it, and you're not prepared for it, and you don't want to do it, and so on. And I feel like that's like when your mind makes the decision, I'm going raw vegan, and your body goes, wait a second, or your subconscious goes, wait a moment, or your emotions go, well, wait, I'm not ready for this. You've not prepared it. Your mind is so far ahead of the rest of you, and what's happened is it's not ready, so it's gonna rebel back, right? Not that it's not ready physically, your body's ready, but your whole mental system, emotional thing, your mind, all this different, all the subconscious isn't prepared for this change you're making, that you've just made a decision you're going to do. So the cravings come up, the all the various reasons not to do it come up, and there's not a million, but there's a whole bunch of reasons not to do it that people bring up that aren't really real. It's too cold where I live. It's too expensive. It's, you know, the fruit isn't good enough or whatever. There's a whole bunch of reasons that people bring up. But those same people wouldn't do it if they were in Thailand. If they were getting the best fruit selected for them and delivered to their door every day on a beach in Thailand, they would not do it. And I've spoke to people before who didn't have the knowledge, the humility, the experience to understand that. Like, it's not about being in a hot country. It's not about having the best fruit around. It's not about the perfect scenario, you know. It's not anything to do with that. The reason you're struggling to do it is because cooked food is addictive. And that is the number one reason. If it wasn't addictive, we wouldn't, as a human race, we wouldn't eat it. We wouldn't eat any of it. We selectively chose these plants because they were addictive to us. Just like tobacco and just like making alcohol and drugs, like these things are addictive to us. So that's why we continue to do them, because we couldn't stop doing them. So so that's how it works. And you have to accept that you have an addiction. That means that you're not in control. And you can try and change it, but you have to accept that it's very hard to do so. There is patterns, there is a flow. There's very few people that went raw overnight. I don't really believe there's anyone, but people claim to have done it. I'm sure someone will comment below. That's what I did. You know, let's be a little bit honest. You know, tell us exactly how you did that. You never went back to cook food, not one time. You know, so there's not a lot of people in that position. But I just think that there's patterns to this, and that's why it's good to get around other people that have done it longer. It's good to get around mentors, coaches, speakers, going to an event like the Fruit Festival, being around people who have done it. You know, all the long-term raw vegan people, they're not like, yeah, I can have cooked food anytime I like and I'll just go back. They know they can't. They know they can't do that. So when someone comes in and they say, well, I eat cooked food once in a while, I have 2 cooked food meals a week. I've heard people say things like that. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. And you're saying, well, yeah, why couldn't they do that? Because it's not how it works. It's not how the body works. The mind, our connection with addictive foods. You don't just go, like, no one's smoking a cigarette twice a week, you know. It doesn't happen, right? So I still think that, in my personal opinion, right, and I don't have all the science to prove it, but personal opinion, there's a huge difference between the raw food diet and cooked food diet. We've maybe not found that difference yet. I've experienced things in my body that I almost can't believe the difference. So there's a huge difference, but you have to do the raw food diet right. If you don't do it right, you're going to struggle to do it. And if you just think it's going to be something easy that you're going to do overnight, that you can eat cooked food whenever you like and go back to raw, if you're going to think like that, it's also not going to be easy. You're going to fail to do it. So you've got to get humble, understand the situation, and take some time for your whole system to get used to the idea, to prepare for it, get ready for it. You might go back and forth a bunch of times. That's all part of the process. It's all a natural part of the process. And I can see the pattern every time. And I see that most people quit just before they're about to work it all out. Most people quit at that point. So don't give up. Keep on pushing a little bit more. Keep on trying to go raw a couple more times, and it'll all come together. So that's really how it works. So thank you for watching the video. If you'd like more information about the Fruit Festival next year, you can go to fruitfest.co.uk/registration to get on our early announcement list. If you would like to support the Fruit Festival or the work we're doing, you can buy a t-shirt or a hoodie at fruitfest.co.uk/shop. I think I've got a code, Ronster, gets you some money off. And yeah, you can join the email list as well at fruitfest.co.uk. So thank you very much for watching, supporting. Leave a like, leave a comment, and we'll see you in another video.